Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can all hear me. Okay, can you?
Yes, sir, we can get you very well.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming on board. Thank you for coming through, for showing the passion that you guys need to learn and be better. This is, of course, the program that I decided to name PeopleSoft Coding Academy, which started actually some years back, but because of a number of engagements that I had, it could not be something that I would materialize on, but eventually I feel like I need to give back. I think I've done enough or a lot, or I have gained a lot of knowledge that I need to give back to you guys. I feel like it's not good to sit on the knowledge and yet I can share this knowledge. So I actually started this, I think, with marketed students. Yes, to 2021. I would go to marketed and do some sessions. Thereafter, I think I also got a bit engaged and then resumed, I think, 2023. Do we have anyone from MOOC on board? Is Isaac or Martina on board? Are you on call? Isaac, Francis Kazibwe or Martina, could they be on board? So I somehow started with them. No, that was the second group. I think that was last year, if I'm not mistaken, when I got some time, and then I resumed with I had the third group, which was the likes of Titus, the likes of Albertson. Still, this was Isbat. I think basically this group had Isbat students, and I think we are building like a Node.js API. Through those groups would pay some amount of money. I think around 50, sometimes 50, sometimes I think 100k, sometimes 150. And because it's not because I was so money oriented, but at the end of the day I wanted to give back. Of course, things of internet, for example, call like this, you need just facilitation. So I would want to get something so that we can have at least internet services run our program. But the I've when I initiated this and posted the idea in the group, particularly is, but I think to some group, many did not join because they felt like they could not afford the, what can I call it, what was the fee, the facilitation fee. So, but I said I want to teach as many people as I can. I want people to gain from me as much as they could. So that's why that's now the evolution of this thing. Has not just started way back 2021 when I had finished with the market students. Still, those guys would pay, but I would see that the fee, most guys would not afford the fee, so you could have like 20 on board. The next group, I think they're around 10, 15. The next group were around 20. Yeah, the likes of Titus, his group, I think, were around the range of, I think, 12 to 20 there. But you could find that most would keep on dropping because they would not afford the monthly facilitation fee. So that's why we are here. I opened this up so that everyone can join without you guys having to pay any fee. But I don't think I will ask for anything. I don't think, no. it's free mentorship. At the end of the day, if we just look at resources that or whatever we're going to attain from something, it is meaningless. But what you give out there is much more important than you can just gain materialistically. So yeah, so that's the aim of Pillars of Coding Academy, to make sure you guys can benefit. Because I've also had an opportunity where I've been you know, the recipient of free services from other people. I am very lucky that most of my education, because of my academic record, I think I started getting bursaries since primary. I think primary 5. Yes, for A level it was entirely free. For campus, my education was entirely sponsored. You know, so I think my parents paid something, I think in O level, but it was even half. I think we're paying over around 20%. So most of my education was free, if I can say. It was just free. Like, I just enjoyed. And to me, you can't tell me you started, being paid for the school and the government from primary. At one point, I had the feeling that, oh wow, I enjoyed my education. I enjoyed receiving knowledge for free. My parents did not invest. Yes, they invested as in facilitating me. That one I acknowledge. But most of my tuition, most of my school fees, if we had to sum up, you realize that I was actually sponsored throughout. There was where I can say that it was literally everything was free. It was A level and university, 4 years, and these are the people paying your tuition, giving you facilitation fee. Like, everything is catered for. So it was a great experience, and so it's one of the reasons that made me think, like, how is the 50,000 or 100 or 150 as the facilitation that I'm receiving impacting? Is there any huge impact? I asked myself, what if many come on board? Would those people benefit more than the 100k, for example, I'm receiving from each? So that's the evolution of Pillars of Coding Academy. So initially, I was saying, please, of course, it still remains our rule that if you want to come on board, please know what you are going for. Do not think that I'm just going to come before you and show you this is how you code the QO. No, it's mentorship guidance. It is opening up your eyes. It so happened that when I was at campus, during internship, I had implemented my software system, which I think I can share my screen and show you. Okay, this. Can you see my screen? Please confirm if you can see my screen. I don't know if you will see this other window. Do you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
What about the?
Yes, sir, we can see.
The incognito window where there is which screen do you see now? The one of object-oriented PHP post system?
Yes, sir.
Do you see object-oriented PHP post system? Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so that means you can see the code.
Yes, sir, we can see.
You can see the code that I'm scrolling through, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so good. Now, at campus in third year, I had implemented this system, which is a post, as you can see. It's a PHP post system, and it was a good one actually. It's just that I wanted to set it up on my machine so that you guys can see it. But I shared my GitHub repository or my GitHub link with you so that you guys can clone the public repositories, and it's one of the public repositories. As you can see, the visibility is public here. So you can cron through, set it up on your machine and see how it works. It's basically a post. You can even set it, because I managed to set this system 1.8. It's the one that I saw. So my point was, while I was at the Bank of Uganda, I had no knowledge about frameworks. I had nothing, totally nothing. I was just, for example, building systems using this method of OOP. I would build classes. For example, this is, class database master. And I create my functions, authenticate users, as you can see. Build function is login session expired. So these are just classes that I'm using to build a system. So I knew nothing about frameworks. So it happened that my supervisor told me about frameworks, and that was the start of knowing a lot of things. I quickly converted this to Laravel. To a Laravel system. I upgraded it. You guys clone this system. Make sure you clone now. Your task now is today. You're going to clone this system and set it up on your machine. Okay? See how it works. It's just object-oriented post system. Then I went ahead and converted it to, let me first sort of log in, and just a minute. So I converted it to Laravel. So Laravel is a framework for PHP, because I had built the other one in PHP. So I needed to proceed and develop the same in PHP, because I had learned, I was very conversant with what is PHP. So just a moment, so that I can show you the equivalent system. Though I changed a bit the design, and it was a bit improved, so I converted it to Laravel. So I think it is called point of sale. No, actually this one, let's go back to this one. It should be on this GitHub. In this case, we are going to use this account. Okay. So when we come here, can you see my screen where I'm searching through the Pivot Software account? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
we can see it.
When you can look at this is point of sale. Okay, this is now, if you look at this, it's Laravel, as you can see. So I converted the other code into Laravel. Why? If it were not my supervisor, I would discover these things after campus. So sometimes you guys, you don't do things because you don't want, but because you don't have knowledge. And me, I got to know that point during my internship. It's not because I never wanted to learn Laravel, it's because I never knew Laravel. That's why I developed that system in object-oriented PHP. So for example, this is I would have opened both systems, but the other one is not deployed. So the other one that I've shown you for just OOP. So this one is a different one. This is now the one that you will not have access to, but you have access to an equivalent system, which is in just mere PHP. So I don't want to rush you to basically jump into Laravel and so on, when you can just look through procedural programming that you guys are familiar with, or object-oriented programming that you're familiar with, where you create classes and functions. So that's the relevance of not sharing basically this. Even this one is so anyway, I can share the code, but this one is a bit so you're going to be building systems like this eventually, and that's what I want you guys to do. I told you that I sold this one 1.8 it was campus, and it was like a big achievement, because that dream, when I started campus, that dream was a startup that digitizes these SMEs and all that. all those businesses, you know, to make sure that they are not recording. If you're a software engineer and you go to a supermarket or a shop and then or a drug shop and then you're finding those guys, they are still using papers, books to record their, you know, information, it should bother you. Because that's what drove me to build systems. Like, we're in an era, I'm a software engineer, like we've studied things like databases, SQL, MySQL, like people can record information in those databases. Like, why should people still be using you know, manual, you know, recording kind of, you know, ways? So it bothered me, and that was I created the WhatsApp then. I called it Code Solution Tech, and I wanted it to digitize SMEs. And so when I saw my first application during internship getting that 1.8, it was like a pivotal milestone in my life. Because as a kid who had joined campus, I never knew. Some people join by the campus when they know coding. I joined campus, I didn't know how to code at all. But 1 month after, if not a few weeks, I was like, wow, I need to start a company. Created a WhatsApp group called Code Solution Tech. I was like, yeah, we are going to do it. We're going to do it. I think I was inspired by then. The first weeks we had learned database management systems, and it opened up my eyes. Oh, there are databases, so we no longer need to keep, you know, records manually. Like we no longer need to use manual papers, or, you know, these papers to record information. That was the inspiration. So you could have your reason as to why you want to, you know, digitize solutions, why you need to create digitized solutions. So be inspired, and I challenge you that even when you're doing this kind of learning, I challenge you to do project based. If you're learn by project, you will learn very many things. Okay, for example, when I said I want to do a point of sale, I discovered a lot of things like I didn't know. Because when you are just doing arrays, integers, data types, you just focus on that. But when you realize that, okay, I need to build a report, I need to build a system where I can export, for example, data. For example, like I want people to be able to export like PDF, like here, you know, you'll be like, okay, we didn't learn that in class, but how do I achieve that? Because I know my, I want a user to be able to be exporting Excel or PDF. So your eyes will open up. You start asking yourself, or you reach out to a person like me that you expect to be knowing something, and be like, but I have like a system where I want to be exporting data in a PDF file. How do I achieve that? So project based will help you learn a couple of things, and you will explore very many things that you ought not to have thought about. So, and I'm here to guide you. For example, when I said you guys, you go and do a portfolio site and deploy it on GitHub, I like the progress. I'm sure most of you didn't know that you can actually deploy your portfolio on what? On GitHub. Most of you thought you have to buy a domain, when actually you can use free services like GitHub and others, as I will share along, for you guys to leverage and be able to create those portfolios. So our goal is to make sure you guys can gain knowledge for free from me. If you want to facilitate, maybe for data, but I will not ask for anything. So that's how things, that's how we are going to go about things. Brian has a question. Please go on. and ask before we proceed. I can see Brian, you are raising your hand. If I'm asking if you have any question, please raise your hand and please go on unmute and ask any question. If you don't have, please you can also tell us that was a mistake, and so that we can be able to proceed. Brian, I hope you can unmute in case you have any question. Anyway, for now, let me proceed. Now, when we have different kind of systems that you need to know, we have web, we have desktop, we have mobile, we have APIs, also applications. Okay, so you're going to at the end of this mentorship, it's not going to end. This is going to be bringing on new guys. So at the end of the day, even 7 years, I want some guys to take on what I'm doing. Okay, I don't want this to be a one-man thing. If I train you and you guys have the knowledge, you feel like you have the knowledge, you guys, I want you to be, even if I don't still exist, I want this group to exist, and you guys can go on and mentor other guys. Okay, me, I'm aging, so you guys are still younger than me. So if I want you guys to, if you learn and you become skilled as me, to maintain this, to make this one, to make it continuous. Some of you, you're going to graduate, stay inside there, stay in the group. If you happen to teach, you happen to be a lecturer, happen to be a professor, some of you are going for those careers, or you happen to be a software engineer, bring more people in the group. If it becomes full, we open up, you guys open another one. So I'm saying I want to mentor more leaders. Not only just, I don't want to mentor people just gain skills or knowledge from me and run away. No, also bring people on board. Okay, if you know people and they are willing to learn, bring them on board. If you happen, I've aged, even if I've not aged, if felt like you've gained a lot, you can go into my position. Come on board, be like Darrington, you've done enough for us. I feel like now you have maybe a lot on your plate, or we feel like you can retire. Displace me, okay? So that's the aim of this group. That's the aim of this platform. I want to mentor guys who are going to mentor other people, so that even in 100 years, even when we are no longer here, some of us, then we will have other people or other groups, but this idea to keep on the momentum, even in a decade, in decades, after today. So that's the aim of this group. So now the question of today: how do I learn? How do I learn? How do I learn? Most of you've done your C, you've done your C++. Some of you did not like the teacher who taught you, but you feel like you need to be a good software engineer, you need to build applications. You ask yourself, how should I start? Some of you, you don't know, what do I do? Why do I do? I want to learn, I want to be like him. You ask yourself, how did he get there? One thing that will get you there is passion, motivation, self-motivation. You see, Darrington can be wanting to push you, or can be wanting to share knowledge, but if you're not passionate, if you yourself you're not passionate, you're not going to reach far. Yes, you can reach far, but by what? So I'm saying that here, the foundation of this is you yourself as an individual. You must possess passion. You must be having motivation to achieve something. My motivation, you can see when I said, let me just start Code Solution Tech, which was the name then, and the focus to digitize SMEs. I had passion, even though by then I never knew anything. I don't think by then I didn't know how to even code HTML. I didn't know. So, but you see, behind there was something. There was a motivation. There's an aspiration. So I want you guys ask yourselves today, like, I'm going to learn. Darrington is going to help me equip. What do I want to become? Okay? What do I want to become? Am I just learning for free? oh, I have a goal. You set your goals now. You're a student. Be like, my first goal, my short-term goal is to make sure I equip myself with knowledge through schooling, and then as I'm schooling, I'm going to build on skills. I was impressed by some of you guys, like Francis. He has an app. He has already learned Flutter. He has already building an app, and his app is addressing a problem. So he has a plan. When I asked him, now this is front end, what are you planning to do is back end? He says, oh, I'm a learning curve for Laravel. That's a plan. So you guys, I want you to have a plan, short term, and I challenge you that after here, get a paper and pen or your notebooks, your Google Notes, whatever. Put short term, long term. Say short term, maybe it is 1 to 3, 4 years. Say, I'm going to be in school. I'm going to get knowledge that teachers are equipping us with, and I'm going to attain scores. Maybe either if not in class, but through this platform, for example, where I'm going to build skills, so that those short-term goals, they will contribute towards your long-term goals. You say, my long-term goals, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start a company, and the company is going to help do this and this. Companies, if for example, want to be an entrepreneur, companies should not solely exist to get money. Organizations, businesses should exist to solve people's problems. For example, if you say, I'm going to set up a shop in my village, you don't say, because I want to be rich. Just want to say, I want to bring access of goods closer to my people in the village. That is a very stronger point than saying, I want to be rich. Okay? If you say you want to start an IT company, don't say, because I want to be a billionaire. No. Say, I want to venture because I want to address ABC in my community. Those are the goals that should drive you. Okay? So the journey starts today. Oh, it has already started because you guys have started working on certain things. I started by giving you an assignment to develop your portfolio. Develop something like this. Okay? Something like this, someone that can read through and get to know who is you. Now you're at university. By the time you reach at campus, we know that you've experienced a few things. You can do everyone. Don't say I have nothing to add, and make sure that the information that you have on your portfolio is genuine. Okay? When you see things on my portfolio, I did not, just imagine them. These are experiences. These are my achievements. These are the things that I've attained. These are the things that I aspire to do. So you can also start from here. You might not be having much, but you can say, this is my vision, and this is what I'm doing to achieve my vision currently. You said, I'm currently running this. These are my projects. You list them. For example, there's a project section. If you don't have maybe a hosting provider where someone can access the link for the system directory, put your code on GitHub. Okay? Put your code on GitHub. I remember my first job opportunity, I shared my GitHub link. I think, yes, they needed to go through what I've done. So do not have an excuse that I don't have money to buy hosting space or from service providers like hosting etc. No, say you have free services or providing service providers like GitHub. Like I think there's another one called Netlify, right? I think these guys also provide. You guys check them out. They also provide. I think they have some, that service where you can deploy for free. Yeah, so try them as well. If you come to pricing, I think they might be having a free. You can see. You see it? Starter. You can see what they give for starter. This is 0. Start for free. Okay? Do you guys see this?
Yes, we are able to see it.
So you see, you have 100 GB bandwidth, you have static assets, you can put your static website, okay? You can, so explore this thing,
So
explore
I'm not
it.
seeing your screen. I don't know.
Is it on you? Can everyone else apart from Titus see your screen?
You can see it. You can see it.
I think Titus,
I can see the screen.
yes, it's Titus, it's your issue, huh? Please, check your gadget so that you can be able to see. So you see that there are very many providers who even provide these starter packages where you can deploy your sites for free. Okay, so now, for now, is someone asking? Okay, Isaac, please
Yes,
go
yes,
on.
sir.
Yes, please go on and ask.
Sir, I'm sorry to jump in,
It's okay.
but I was asking for something here.
Mm.
Assuming you've done your portfolio, maybe using Sublime Text 3,
Mm.
can you still use maybe GitHub to deploy that code?
Yes,
Because I
actually,
came in late.
yes, you can actually. There is Dung Simon. Is Dung Simon on board? Dung Simon? Okay, Dung Simon is not on. Aina has. Aina, are you on board? Aina should be on board. Please unmute. Aina was on board. Where is Aina? They could have jumped off. So people have, okay? You can actually share the link, Isaac, in the group. How, for example, you can deploy your code from your computer and deploy it on GitHub, and so it will reflect as a portfolio. Please follow that video, okay? I posted it in the group.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you,
Aina
sir.
has just gotten back. So you can. That's why I share those resources in the group. Please always follow them. Follow our chats, because most times when I post, I don't just post anyhow. Most my messages at least is something you can learn from, unless I'm addressing something. Okay, so yeah, I was saying that. But for now, anyway, if you want, you can go for this. But I want you to first develop the first project that you have at hand is to develop your portfolio and deploy it on GitHub. Okay, deploy it on GitHub as a portfolio so that someone can access it as a link. Then afterwards, we shall look at, for example, how to deploy on Netlify on deploying your site. For example, you've developed your simple site and you want to deploy it here. So 19 for 19, you can see there's also start free trial. Okay, I think which expires after some time. I don't know how many $19 can be per month, like per year, because normally when you start they will show you per year, but this is not too expensive, I believe. So you can check out those many services you can leverage on. Okay, so now we get back here. How are we going to learn? First of all, you need to know different types of applications or categories. You have desktop, like a desktop application, let's say VLC. Okay, you have a mobile app, okay, like AgriX. Before even a mobile app, you have a website. A website is a web app. Okay, it's an example of web application. So you have a desktop like VLC or Postman here. Those are desktop applications. You have web apps, which includes like a website. Website is a web app. Also, this one, a web portal like this, a web system like a post. This is a web app as well. Any application that has access to a web browser, web application. Okay, that's the second category. The third one is a mobile app. Okay, mobile apps where you can, for example, you see this AgriX. I'm sure I've told you about it. So which you can install on your mobile devices. Okay, you can install them on your mobile devices from Google Play or Apple Store. Okay, so that's another category. So those are three. Another one is where you build an API. APIs, they don't just stand alone, but they exist to serve other applications. For example, this is an API. I can say extension api.agrix.com. So it's an API that serves this app, that communicates with this app that you guys that you can install and see, or that serves an admin or a web app like this portal. which is basically a web system that helps you access what happens with maybe a mobile app. So those are different kinds of applications. So I want you to be having a clear picture of the different applications that you guys can build, so that when you're learning, you know that I use this technology to do this, I use this technology to do this, okay? So you'll be having a clear picture of what you're learning and where you're going to use it, where you're going to use it from, okay? So now that you've known these kinds of applications, so we've said we have front end. Now web app, we've started with a web app. There's desktop, there is mobile app, and then there is API. So normally software systems are broken down into two: front end and then back end, okay? You guys can see my notebook where I'm writing, okay? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I
sir.
stopped it.
Can see.
So for me, I don't know what happened. Maybe I should join again.
I think you can't. Please try. So you have web, desktop, mobile, and API, then front end and back end. So all these, apart from API only belongs to back end. In back end, that's where we have the API setting. But these three type categories can have both back end and front end. Basically, when you look at the UI, front end is basically the UI, the user interface, okay, of the application. For example, when you see this, like these designs, all this is just UI, user interface. So designing all these interfaces is basically what we call the front end, making sure you can develop these interfaces. Just building these interfaces look like this, having the button here. So all this is what we call front end. Okay, back end is where you develop like APIs and databases. This is where you develop APIs and databases, or other services like queuing, etc., which are part of like APIs. So to make sure that they can serve front end, you can have a static front end. Static means that it does not communicate with anything, or it's just you can navigate through, it's static. But for example, if I say I want to fetch users, to see users who have registered with our app, this system, the front end, has to communicate with the back end, so that, because the back end is where data sits in database, and it is fetched into front end through an intermediary, which we call an API. So front end communicates with back end. Back end has API and database. So front end communicates with API. API goes to the database and fetches data, and then returns that data back to front end. So that's what we call the client server architecture, okay? So now you can ask yourself, how do we build like this UI, okay? This UI that you're seeing. Because there are different technologies that you can use, okay? For front end, you can use, if it is like a web app, you can use React, you can use Nextjs. Please write into this one so that you will do research. How fast you learn will help you to go deep into these technologies. You can look into Angular, you can look at Vue.js, quite many of them, okay? etc. There are quite many. For desktop, I think we use Ionic. Yeah, you can use, there's a framework I think called Ionic for desktop. You will explore more. For mobile app, you can use React Native, you can use Flutter. So these ones are cross-platform, React Native and Flutter. By saying that Flutter uses Dart as the programming language, while React Native uses JavaScript or TypeScript as the language, okay? So remember, I'm sure you know different types of, before we come even to this, these are like sort of frameworks, okay? the ones I'm listing. React, Nextjs, Angular, Vue.js, that's sort of like frameworks, okay? So, but of course you have different programming languages, which I'm sure you know most. C, C++, Java, JavaScript, or stock TypeScript. You have Python, you have Ruby on Rails, you have, there are quite many. I hope I'm not forgetting the most popular. C#, okay, etc. Quite many. There are very many programming languages. Okay, you have Kotlin, you have Dart. Okay, so all these are programming languages. But programming languages, engineers created what we call frameworks or libraries, that instead of building code from scratch, at least there is a template that you can build on, or there is a framework. A framework means there's something structured that you can follow. So this is what we call frameworks or libraries, like React. Okay, so when you put here, for example, React is a JavaScript library, okay, for building web interface, like web interfaces. For example, like this one, it's Nextjs, but Nextjs is like React. There are a few differences, okay? So you can see, if you come and click down React will help you to build web applications like this, okay? So etc. So you can see this is the documentation. You can run through and see how you install, how you run what. Most of these things are here. How you start a new project, okay? What you need. So there are very many tools. So like libraries and frameworks, they guide you, okay? Instead of starting something from scratch, then you have something that you can start from, like a framework. It's structured, okay? Just like I've said, okay? So I'm just breaking down what you expect to me to use. I kindly request you that please know these things. If I say that, for example, when I asked Francis yesterday, what are you trying to build? I can see you developing a mobile app in Flutter. What are you trying to use for backend? And when he told me Laravel, I was so happy because I saw he's someone who knows things, like he has a direction. But if I ask you from today, I want you guys to be informed. When I say, for example, what are you running for front end? Be clear, be specific with your goals. That's why I suggested, please have short-term goals and long-term goals, okay? So if you know that you are going to build, some system, know a clear picture of what you're going to use, front end and back end, and databases as well. So we are saying that for web app you can use this. There are quite many. You will Google, for example, when you put front end technologies, you see you have Angular, you have Vue.js, you have React, you have Flutter, JavaScript, React Native. You see here they are just combined, but me, I'm just breaking them down to categorizing them, okay? Okay, so now for web app, we've seen these are like libraries or frameworks. Then desktop apps, you can also, I've said these ones are cross-platform in the sense that you can use React Native to develop code once for Android and React for Android and iOS, same as Flutter. But when you use Kotlin is only used for, just like Java, only used for more Android apps. And then Swift as well, only for iOS apps. If you use Swift, you're only developing for iOS. That code you develop, you have to develop separate code in Java or Kotlin that is doing the same functionality that you're doing with that iOS app, okay? But if you want to do cross-platform, to hit two birds using one stone, you either use React Native or Flutter. Okay, so of course for front end, this is front end. All these technologies that I've discussed here. It's just that I've just broken them down, that if you're doing front end for web applications, this is what you have to use. If you're using desktop, this is what you have to use. So React uses JavaScript, Nextjs, JavaScript, Angular. So most front-end applications for web, most of them are JavaScript. That's why yesterday when I met someone, I don't know if he's part of this group. I think he was called what was his name? I've forgotten the name. He was asking me, what should I start with, JavaScript and Python? You can start with any, but for me as a person, I would advocate for JavaScript. Why? Look at this. If you look at web apps, you can use React, Nextjs. Ionic is also the JavaScript. Okay, desktop technologies. There are very many languages, but you can actually also use. We've forgotten ASP.NET here. ASP.NET. Okay. Also Java using Swing class. You can develop a desktop application. So you can do research around these things. So me, I'm just opening up your eyes now to go and Google these things so that you have a clear picture of what can I use for front end, what can I use for front end. These things of me meeting my people and mentoring, and they don't know about this, and yet I've put in the effort. I don't like. I want, when I talk about something, guys, go and do research so that you'll be equipped with knowledge. Someone who has knowledge nowadays, knowledge is power, guys. Be knowledgeable. Have the hunger, have the thirst to be knowledgeable. Okay. So now for back end, you can use Node.js, okay, which is also JavaScript. See, JavaScript cuts across. You can use it for back end. You can use Node.js. You can use React Native for apps. You can have Ionic. You can have React, Next.js. So you see, JavaScript is everywhere. You can use Django, Python. Django is Python to build back-end API. You can use Laravel, which is PHP, to build your API. Okay, etc. We, as Microsoft Coding Academy, there are sessions that we had started. When you go on YouTube, I have a channel. I'm going to open up a channel for ourselves. I had not opened it up for PeopleSoft, so we're going to be dropping our videos there. Even this session, for someone that has missed, so that they can go back and revisit what we've talked about. But I have a YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel talks about
So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software
of where we were, running like Node.js. Okay, so you will search my,
where you can manage everything.
My name there, you will able to find out. And in case you want to run, for example, Node.js, content is everywhere, plus including my channel, which has those videos of how guys who are catching up along with developing APIs in Node.js. So etc. There are very many technologies that you can use to build. Ruby on Rails can also be used on backend. Java is also the most popular for back. Is one of the most popular technologies for backend. So there are very many technologies that you can use to build these applications. Okay. So this is a APIs. When I say backend here, you're developing APIs. These ones, they can help you to build APIs. Now, databases, we have remember, we have relational and non-relational. So relational, we have SQL, we have MySQL. Okay, we have MySQL, we have Postgres, then we have Oracle, okay, etc. Those are relational. Well, the relational are the ones that store data in the form of rows and columns. Then the most popular for unstructured or non-relational is MongoDB. Okay, so if you type here MongoDB, you would be able to see MongoDB. It stores data as a document, so it's non-relational. Okay, so you can see even the languages it used to develop this MongoDB: JavaScript, Python, Java, Go. there's a language that we call Go as well. It is used for back end as well. Okay, so there's a Go. So now Postgres, for example, for Postgres, most people you find them anyway. You find most people they use Postgres, MySQL, and yeah, those are the most common. And if you come here, most popular databases. So you see there's Oracle, MySQL, MongoDB, okay? Just like I've talked, MySQL, MongoDB. So by ranking, if you go to a site like this, so you see Oracle, you see MySQL, you see SQL Server, Postgres, MongoDB, okay? You can see there are very many, okay? If you come and explore this, Oracle is the most widely used, but I'm sure MySQL also has got a ranking. If we open this, okay, we have a table here. You have Oracle, so you can see Oracle is used out there. MySQL, you can have MySQL SQL Server, which is same as SQL, and then Postgres as well, okay? But as you're starting, I advise you either start with MySQL or Postgres, one of them, okay? So, for example, I normally use Postgres nowadays. I hope you can see my screen. This is how. Do you see my PG admin? There's software called PG admin. Do you see it? Oh, we are still. Do you see my PG admin?
Yes.
The black one, eh? Okay.
Yes, it can be viewed.
Okay, so this is for example Postgres, okay? But you can also have MySQL. You can use phpMyAdmin as the client. You can use Explorer. So go on, and here the assignment, I had given you assignment. Go and explore the clients or software clients that you can use. Software clients that you can use for, because I want you to either use MySQL or Postgres. So one of these, okay? Postgres. So that's another assignment that you have. Like, I want you to be knowing, for example, PG admin, for example, the one I've shown you here, and how to create database and tables in this, okay? So that's one of the things. So I've broken down this. Make sure that at least when you're going to run this, make sure you have short-term goals and long-term goals. You say, me as a person, for front end, I'm going to first learn web applications. I'm going to use React. But React requires you to know JavaScript. So don't say I'm going to run React when you don't know JavaScript. That's why I told you, go and search about, if I've given, let me paste it on the chat so that you guys can copy this, go search more about them, and okay, go and search about them. Yes, someone was asking about Visual Basic. Yes, you can also use Visual Basic. Someone was asking, in React we have React Native and React, which one do we use for web apps? For web apps it's React Native is for mobile apps. So I've pasted this, so you can just you can just copy and be able to start from there. So this session, I think it has been informative. I've given you the technologies that you look at these technologies. Say React, you get to know what programming language it uses. We know it's JavaScript. Nextjs, what does it use? JavaScript. And what is it used for? Then you go and explore also these databases, whatever I put here. Get to be informed on this, because this is like the start for you to say, I'm going to do mobile app. But when you don't know that you can use React Native, and you don't know the programming language that React Native uses, yeah, that's not right. So that's why I'm giving you this foundational knowledge that you can build on to know, okay, I'm going to have a running journey. But what do we use for front end or web apps or mobile apps? Then to know when you're so that when you're in a running curve for JavaScript, I'm going to use this JavaScript to do web apps by running React. I'm going to use JavaScript to do mobile apps by using React Native. Okay, I'm going to use JavaScript to do backend by running Node.js. Okay, so that is what I want you to build. Okay, so I beg to stop from here. I'm going to invite questions, and we stop our session, and we start from there next time. So please come on board if you have any question or anything you want to supplement or anything you need to know. Isaac, please, I can see you've raised up your hand. Please go on and ask. Okay, that guys is appreciating. Anyone else? If you have anything, Isaac, Isaac, go on and ask if you have anything. Okay, I think you don't. Titus, do you have anything to say? I can see you've raised up your hand as well.
No problem. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Mm.
Though I have gotten some challenge with my network, but I think it will be better.
We will share the
coming days.
video.
So I was just.
We will share the
Yes, sir.
video on it's going to go on YouTube. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So whatever you've
So,
missed.
sir, I'm asking. How often are we going to be meeting? Oh, such sessions.
You see, I want to be clear on this. I'm just going to guide you. Yeah, I'm just going to open up your eyes. Okay, to know this is what we use. You have to do this. You have to do this. So I'm not going to teach. I'm not going to say that I'm going to come here and teach you, for example, Node.js or JavaScript. No, I'm just going to be talking about the technologies you can use, and I give you assignments. For example, I gave you an assignment of developing your portfolio, and then you deploy it on GitHub, and then it is accessed as a link. Okay.
Deploy it on GitHub.
Yes. So I am not teaching you. I am teaching you, but indirectly. Okay. I'm not doing things for you guys. I'm not doing that kind of teaching. Well, I'm just guiding you, mentoring you. That's mentorship. Mentorship is different from teaching. Mentorship is more of like guiding, opening someone's eyes, giving them assignments. Okay, go now, do this. But I'm not going to do it for you. Okay, so that's the kind of. But I'm sure, and the reason I'm doing that is it's going to cultivate passion in you, like self-drive. Okay, I like people who are self-driven. That's why when I was telling you guys before you joined, I said, please make sure you have the passion. Okay, have the passion to do things where no one is seeing. But if you're in your life where you have to wait someone to tell, please do this, no, that's not good. Okay, have that kind of self-drive, and that's what I want to see you guys have. Okay, yeah, so that's basically what I want you guys to have.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Okay, welcome. Any more questions? Any more questions? Yes, Isaac, please go on and ask.
Yes, sir. I was asking on this point of web apps.
Yes.
Web apps. Sir, you were talking about JavaScript. So I was like, for one to be like good in this section, it means that you have to at least be good at the areas of HTML and CSS.
Yes.
Because I was thinking that maybe JavaScript makes the website more interactive to the user.
Absolutely. Yes, of course, of all things, it's just that I've spoken from a point of knowing that maybe you guys know HTML. If you want to do web, the foundational language that you must be knowing is HTML, and you must be knowing some CSS, okay? So I did not talk about that. So please, thank you for bringing that on board. So you guys, if before you run JavaScript, before you run React or the web technologies that we talked about, the React, Nextjs, Angular, make sure you're very familiar with HTML. That's why my first assignment is to develop a portfolio, because I know in that portfolio you're going to use HTML and what? CSS. It's just going to be static. Then afterwards, once you've learned how to use HTML and CSS, you can now upgrade your skills to go and use to see how you can make it interactive by using JavaScript, by so you're going to take baby steps. Use HTML, CSS to develop that portfolio. Make sure it is interactive by using JavaScript. Run some JavaScript, and then from there you can go ahead and start learning frameworks like React, Nextjs, Angular, etc. Okay, so that's it, Isaac. Thank you for bringing that on board. Any more questions?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Any more questions? What's your name? Is that your name? The one who was do what? Duka? What's your real name?
Yes, sir. My name is Muhammad Abdikarim.
Yes, Muhammad. It's good you guys always name your like anonymous. I'm saying anonymous city. Always make sure that you guys, when you're joining, please join with your real names. Abdul Karim, please go ahead and ask.
Sir, I'm asking. I joined the group late, so I didn't see your assignment of.
I'm going to share the video. Our session is going to be on YouTube. You are going to create our channel, Pivosoft, so you guys are going to follow the channel, subscribe to the channel. You're going to access any video that we post. So this one is going to be on YouTube. So in case you've missed anything, I'll share the link after uploading the video on YouTube. Okay.
Okay. All right, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions? Ladies, I know we have ladies. Please, Caramel, speak something. I know we have Julia. Our group, how many ladies do we have so far? We need gender balance. We need to make sure we have ladies on board as well, guys. So Julia and Caramel, bring more ladies that are enthusiastic about learning programming or software development. Have them on board. Make them your friends. I've said that as you learn, don't learn alone. If you see, don't be like, I want to be the one who's going to be better. No, bring other guys. Those you guys can learn along and become better. Okay. So I remember when I was at campus, fellow students would look for me, and I discuss for them. I would not say, for you, why are you looking for me during exams? You go, you don't disturb me. No, I would welcome them openly and discuss for them. So make sure that Caramel, Julia, bring more ladies. We need to do more ladies in this industry, in the IT industry. We need gender balance. Our group is so far, 40 almost. So I don't want to find that we have only 3 ladies. Let's have gender balance, okay? Let's strike, balance so that we can be, we can have gender balance and be better together, okay? So, and make sure, learn, become leaders, just like I've said. I want to rework on this. At one point, I will be having no energy into these things. I will keep this industry to focus on this. Of course, I will stay in the industry, but you find that I no longer engage more in the industry. But I want to leave leaders behind. I want some people to replace me. So have that drive where you guys will be like, I want to replace him. I want to be the next. If now I'm your director or I'm your team leader, next time I want people to be in my shoes, okay? So have that in you. Have that in you. In the long run, maybe we can formalize this, but for now, let's start baby steps. Let's take baby steps, okay? The aim is to make sure you guys gain knowledge. All other things will come in the long run, okay? Any more questions? Any more questions? Please feel free to ask before we conclude. Okay, if you don't have any more questions, I recommend, or I request you guys, please check on whatever I've advised you to look at. Make sure you become knowledgeable in what I've talked about. Then I will make sure you do also your assignment of developing a portfolio and deploying it in GitHub. Update me, and in the group, don't update me in my inbox. We are learning together as a team. There's someone can look at something, at what you've done as your portfolio, and they'll be motivated to run also, okay? So don't post updates in my inbox. Post them on our platform, so that someone clicks on your link, they can be inspired to also go and develop theirs, okay? If they've been lazy, maybe to focus and also be inspired to learn and develop their portfolios. So if there are no more questions, thank you guys for coming on board. We will resume in the next session, or we are going to continue on our platform talking about a couple of things. I make sure that a platform is not just there, but we are sharing knowledge, okay? We are becoming better. So please also have that passion. Let's do this. Let's become better together. Let's become great software engineers. I want some of you, I want to have some of you work for Microsoft. I think my proudest moment would be some of you, work for those big entities in IT, okay? So the journey starts now, and I wish you the best. Let's run together and be better together, okay?